So much.
Alright, sounds like we're live. Welcome to a Link the Past randomizer ladder invitational race already going in place between Gem and Tam. Look at that, we've already rescued Princess Zelda on Gem's side with the fire rod shot that they got in their house along with a nice bow. Should be a good time. Hey Ari, how's it going? Ready for some speed?
It's going pretty good. Right in the middle of the action, we're some classic escape, but then with some extras. Yeah, it's just we already got the nice inventory. A few leads to go off of.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say, so like, we normally kind of try to go for that, sub 5 escape, but I think with fire rod and with the bow and with some arrows, I think that we got in the map chest of escape. This is actually should be looking pretty comfortable, right, for a sub 5, hopefully.
Yeah, probably. I think Gem is definitely already ahead of schedule. Just being able to use fire rod on launching, like even arrows already speed it up so much. But yeah, it should be nice and comfortable. Even Tam should probably just have like a really low 5-minute time at this point.
Yeah,
But yeah, like even outside of escape, this already has some implications, right? It shows us that Eastern is most likely going to be completely in logic, depending on the big key. So,
excellent point. Yeah.
If we see like a map check right out of escape, we might just see like a Lost Woods check into Eastern instead of like doing Kakariko first. It kind of just depends on.
Oh my gosh, we're actually maybe get some initial. So I was gonna say this could be the first real divergence point, right, between Gem and Tam, or we'll just go up the mountain. What do you think, Ari?
This is something that you sometimes do see.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, so we have actually many points of divergence potential now, but we have already unfortunately missed the most important point of divergence initially in front of escape, which was Gem went left and then Tam went right in the hallway, and I cannot understate the importance of that difference.
Yeah, it's just completely blew the race open.
Yes.
It was such a huge gamble at the start of the race.
Oh, I know, it was, right? Oh, you know what? Man, we should have just skipped the back of escape too, because we clearly didn't really get... Well, okay, we got a bottle. Never mind, and this being the ladder invitational, I'm sure the sick kid will guarantee to have progression, yes?
Totally, yes.
Yes.
Alright. Well, we'll probably never hear the end of Gem getting a 457 escape once again. At Humbug.
Yes. Well, I mean, Gem's in the invitational and Humbug isn't, so Humbug maybe needs to take a break from being the #1 seed in the main tournament, oh my gosh, alright, so we got a map check already.
Yeah, all 3 crystals.
Yeah, all 3 crystals in the light world. So yeah, so that already, takes care of my initial speculation that maybe Eastern was a pendant, given that we already had the boat, and as you mentioned, the fire rods, we potentially put everything in logic. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna be able to clear at least 1 crystal, just for off the bat.
Yeah, just immediate decision point right here, like after you check Lumberjack, which is a typical play to make in casual boots. Just because like the fact that I guess in logic a lot earlier or Lumberjack is in logic a lot earlier with the boots from the start.
Yeah.
It's a fast check as well. But yeah, with the glove, you can either decide to go into Lost Woods, or with the glove you can decide to, go up Death Mountain, you get the old man. Check Spec Rock, sometimes it just gives you a little bit more to do. But with the amount of items that we have already, I think that Gem feels like he has enough of a lead of, okay, I can do Kakariko, I can do Eastern. I don't need to immediately isolate a possible spike cave or something. Or if I find a mirror, then I have to climb this long stairs again to get to Hera. Those are like the small things that are really going to add up.
Yeah, and especially for how good, Gem and Tam are, like these quote-unquote little things suddenly kind of can balloon into some pretty big things, and certainly, so I guess, for what it's worth, so in terms of tournament bracket, or sorry, next group advancement implications, so Gem, I think, just has the opportunity to play spoiler for Tam. Tam needs both wins against Gem and and I guess like the last P train in order to advance for the next group of brackets. So really, Tam I think is very interested in saving as much time as they possibly can.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Gem has a little bit of an unlucky streak so far in this part of the group stage. Yeah, made just, I think it was just a few skips and immediately got punished in all of them.
You are absolutely correct. I mean, granted, we can split hairs about how I guess aggressive you may or may not think some of the skips are, but you are correct. There was one unfortunate skip of Ice-T in Ice Palace for game 1 of Gem, and that unfortunately had the Ice Rod. Thanks, Zelga, Rule of Fire, and then the other one, of course, is a very more infamous, I guess, skipping left side swamp for. I think it was Bombos or Ether. It was Medallion that was required. So.
Classic. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but I couldn't think right. And kind of like for Tam had already played Orange. Unfortunately, did take their loss versus them, and I think that was also just kind of a matter of Orange being a bit more aggressive in that seed. For example, Pen and Ice Palace having I think what is it, like the Fire Rod or something in the first chest.
Tam decided again.
Yeah, and Tam decided to stay. Unfortunately without the cane, and Orange decided to bail. Right, and just like decisions like this can just end up just kind of really deciding the race. Right. Also happened to be a Kana Samaria inside Mire, right? That they were also looking for. Just things like this. Oh wow, hello.
It was the words. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah, and especially like we've seen throughout the season as well. Like even between the top 16, there's just been like they're super close races. There's been ties, so the margin for error throughout the races has been ridiculously small. So.
Yeah, and of course it's also being rando, right? You don't really know what's gonna happen, right? Yeah, as sometimes the margin of error can be as close as under a second. Sometimes the margin of error can be, significantly greater than 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, Sikid, at least for both Tam and Gem, they have increased their total heart capacity by 33%. That's always something, right?
Yeah, especially early on. Like if you are going to go into Eastern early, and don't want to waste too much time playing safe with the Fire Rod or whatever, sometimes you just take an errant hit here or there. It's nice to have a little bit of a buffer.
Oh yeah, especially for if we're as you did mention, we do have a good enough options on the table. We've got Eastern, we've got the Mountain potentially, we've got of course classic South Shore. It kind of depends on where these runners want to go, and of course why do we pick up Sanctuary Heart before going over Eastern Palace? We want that extra little buffer, right?
Yeah, and yeah, South Shore definitely looks pretty good right now as well because we have a lot of rupees. Alright, we're gonna get Tam's map check in as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So I would assume that they might just both do South Shore as well. If they have not gone to the Eastern yet, might as well just do the normal route and then maybe they want to wait until they can potentially combine Pal and Eastern or something. There's always going to be the small optimizations that's
oh my god, this is so pretty, Ari.
Yeah.
Just watching this, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're just going to ignore the 15 seconds difference in the timer, but the gameplay right now, absolutely it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it looks like, well, alright, you know what, it looks like we just got everything synced back up, which is also great. Yeah, I was, Yeah, I was also gonna say, so actually coincidentally, this morning actually, Gem and Tam were actually both paired together up for Spoiler Ladder, and Gem actually did take a victory over Tam, so maybe this is gonna be also Tam's opportunity for revenge. Speaking of partially though, given that, I think Tam's pretty happy honestly to see some early money for bombs. They unfortunately tried like the 50-50 pushes, right, to going to get some bombs, but I think they did 4 attempts in order to get 2 bombs. It was really sad. Actually, to watch. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we suddenly have a lot of health, a lot of hammer, and a powder to boot. So.
Yeah, a little bit of an isolated check over in Kakariko right now because we don't have the extra incentive of not having a Bala yet. So the magic bat is all alone right there. We're only a Moon Pearl away from Dark Wolf though, so it's pretty likely that Moon Pearl is just over somewhere, and then we can check our magic path.
Oh yeah,
Once
yeah.
once we go to Skullwoods and Feastan.
Oh,
On the other
true,
hand,
true.
yeah, no, there's probably like this. Oh well, the moon pearl might just be over there as thought as well. But interestingly, Tab decided to skip Ice Rock Cave.
Yes,
And
yeah, this is also, yeah, I'm not actually sure, I guess, of how thorough or, aggressive, Tam, I guess, maybe tends to be. I don't know if they typically like to skip Ice Rock Cave. It also could be, a one-on-one meta play versus Gem. I think Gem's at least opening route for the first umpteen minutes, has been fairly standard, especially we got, as you mentioned, Zora money, so getting lots of flipper options. So maybe Tam, thinks that they can maybe cut a corner or two, versus Gem. And Ice Rock Cave is not, yeah. Oh, never mind. We're just gonna go over to Ice Rock Cave a little bit later. Slightly different ordering, so maybe this means that they don't maybe want to go to Zora, or just a different route.
yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is just a different route. I guess Hobo is just always very annoying to really include, but this is a new one to me.
Yeah, and I guess I don't actually know which one would be necessarily faster, but I guess we're gonna find out once it looks like maybe Gem's gonna get to Zora area just a little bit faster than Tam.
Yeah, but there was like I don't know, it was like a 15-second difference going into the dam.
True, yeah.
But yeah, I think Tam had a little bit of a smoother mini-molding cave as well, so it's kind of hard to say like, exactly. Oh, okay.
Well then, okay. Suddenly, we are a mirror away from entering in Swamp Palace. We also have a ton of money, so I guess we can also afford Zora twice. Maybe if Zora has something good, we can buy, like a 2-for-1 deal off of him or something.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we just get 2 moon pearls.
Yes.
Oh, there's a sword there.
Well, hello.
Okay.
that will certainly make Gem very happy. I'm assuming also it's going to make Tam very happy as well. But certainly, at least, especially when it comes to spoiler, one of the greatest comfort items, I guess, for Gem is going to be that tempered sword. So any number of swords that you can throw at Gem, he'll be pretty happy.
Yeah, that's very reasonable. Okay, skipping the extra hard. All right.
You gotta save 3 seconds somehow,
Yeah, no, for sure. It's like the item pickup. Like some people definitely get very upset if you pick up too many heartbeats.
Yeah.
All right. The question remains. Okay, this might be the time that we actually go to Eastern. Like I almost thought that you might go to Hera first, just Death Mountain Hera, but I think the idea of potentially getting Moon Pearl and Mids over,
yeah.
Mirror and Moon Pearl, it's probably like you're kind of weighed off. Like, do you want an extra Death Mountain trip to go over to East Death Mountain, like the Super Bunny Hookshot Cave, or do you want like the Moon Pearl Mirror to be able to combine potential Pod and Eastern? Of course, there's always the chance that Pod is going to be a pendant, and then it becomes a lot less lucrative to dive that immediately and combine it with Eastern.
Right, yeah, given the fact that we already know 3 crystals in the light world, that means we gotta place all 3 pendants in the dark world somewhere, right? And and the likelihood in this case of Pod being a pendant actually suddenly goes up quite a bit. And plus, like, we don't have the mirror, we want to go to Hera, which of course is a crystal. I mean, it's like, you just take a long way over there too, and yeah, as you mentioned, having the mist to be able to combine everything to do Dark Death Mountain as well seems really appealing.
Yeah,
but in this game...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was gonna say, we're gonna see in this case what Eastern has in store for us. As you said, much earlier, because of the fire rod we got in our house, depending on where the big key is, this guy could be completely in logic. So we actually could see, like, a pearl on our house, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we could even see like lamp on armors for Moon Pearl and Death Mountain to put everything in logic together. The big question is if there's going to be like a vanilla big key skip right here. It's not too unlikely that people might be inclined.
Yeah, and this is certainly a chest that has not seen much of the light of rando day. I mean, especially maybe on Jump side. A couple of others, of course, good runners as well. But yeah, as you mentioned, this is a very potential. I mean, if you skip it and there's nothing there, right? Then whether it's a useless item or it's like the map, it saves you like a minute or something, right? In terms of progression.
Well, it's a guaranteed item.
It's a guaranteed item.
It's a bit less tempting right now. But I think, like, sometimes people are just very adamant about it's not logic, and we don't know where the lamp is, so we're just gonna skip it. And well, that's pretty much what Jem's thinking right now.
Jem is certainly playing consistently, I would say, given his style, I guess, for the first couple games, right, is he is willing to forego some of the chests in dungeons, and, you know, sometimes it pays off quite well, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, if Tam decides to keep going, this is also, I think, pretty consistent with Tam's style as well, is to just be a bit more thorough, right? Staying throughout the dungeon for pendant dungeons, full clearing everything that they can in one area. So certainly seeing the Eastern Palace chest, Big Key chest is within expectations.
Yeah, personally, I think it's slightly risky to skip a light roll location if you do not have the moon pool yet. On the other hand, if you don't find the moon pool and you get funneled back into here, you probably lose less than if it's something like Kane, where you probably just lost location to return here. So there's something to be said for both sides, and I think it's pretty reasonable to skip it. But yeah. Only thing Tam's getting is a full heart.
Yeah, it's not even sync heart, so Tam's just gonna be able to have a little bit more of a buffer. But I think, you know, the way that Tam plays probably not gonna be the most valuable thing. You know, obviously Tam, very skilled runner, plays a lot of spoilers, so I think they're quite used to, you know, low percent. This is just kind of, you know, some icing or some extra comfort for them.
Yeah, it's probably all about the comfort. And I mean, being able to play on like 7-8 hearts compared to 4 is
that's
a big difference.
True.
Just in the sheer amount of confidence you're able to play with, and in the end that will save time as well over having to conserve your hearts. But yeah, a whole minute's probably not exactly worth the time investment that you put in.
Yeah, but you do bring a very good point. You know, there is the added, just because you can doesn't mean you should type of thing, right? We can beat the game on 3 hearts. Should we beat the game on 3 hearts? Like, you could probably afford a little bit more stuff.
The low percent MMG runners say so.
you can, but I mean, you know, the mental toll, honestly, especially if your seed is, you know, hour plus, even though casual boost is on the shorter side of, you know, on average, but yeah, mental tolls also translate to physical tolls as well, you know, and sometimes you just get, you know, the more exhausted you get, the less sharp you are, and then suddenly, you know, like the gameplay just becomes incrementally sloppier, right? And that's just really not something that you can afford in a very like high stakes level race. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, right now, Gem seems to be trying to follow logic really, really tightly here. Skipping vanilla Eastern Big Key chest, it's out of logic without the lamp, but not going to Death Mountain just yet, and instead going to Magic Bats and to Gina first to see if it's the lamp or the Moon Pearl for Dark World Axis.
Yeah, this is actually a really interesting observation. It's not often, by the way, we actually do see Gem going over it. But you know what? He made the right decision in this case. It is in fact the Pearl. So we're gonna go to Dark World, and at least we're gonna put off, we're gonna be able to, go to Hype Cave, we get our Dark World map check, see in this case if pot is a pendant, or crystal, because if it's a crystal, we've got another location to go to.
Yeah. I'm not sure if Gem would traditionally go hype to the left, even if pot is a crystal, just to kind of go through his motions, but it is a crystal right now.
Yeah, that's actually a good point too, because I think a very typical, I guess, Gem route, and once we get into Dark World is Hype Cave into Stumpy into Dig Game. But as you said, you know, we could actually maybe see a bit more divergence from what maybe Gem typically would do, because pot is a crystal, and you know we've got some pendants over there in West World.
Okay, well that makes
never mind.
So much. Oh, this
my gosh! Okay. We so this is April 27th, 2023. Hype Cave is actually in fact very, very hype.
Oh, and we are going over to pod, so yeah, especially with the mirror, it makes pod a lot more attractive. Speeds up the whole clear of the dungeon so much. I'm just a liar. We're just gonna go to Pyramid Catfish first.
I think this is gonna be Pyramid into pod. I think Gemman mentioned some point before, if he goes this route, he's gonna check Pyramid before going into pod.
Okay, so that's interesting. I guess it... It's.
I don't know if it's like a hedge, you know, like a hedge your bets type of thing, as in like, you know, when else are you gonna check pyramid? Because I believe in Gem's eyes, catfish doesn't exist. So, you know.
That's also reasonable.
By the way, have we found anything here? Not okay. We found bombos.
The bombos, but that's about it so far. The weird thing is there's that much left that we actually get to find right here. That is very important. We're kind of looking for flute and cane, and that might be it.
Oh. Man. Oh, dude, you're right. Yeah, actually just looking at, looks like Jen's Dark World map check on his tracker. So we got Thieves Town, and we got Turtle Rock, and we got Swamp as pendants. You're right. So we really don't need very much.
Yeah. Vortex making a really good point in chat. Like, depending on the 5 and 6 crystals, sometimes you do want to delay Pyramid, because you can combine it with Pyramid Fairy later on. But with Meyer, especially, being one of the 5-6 crystals right now, it's not worth waiting for it, because by the time you can do Meyer, you're just in go mode.
Yeah, and especially if like something, you know, for example, like the flute is sitting there, you are going to be very sad that you didn't visit Pyramid earlier.
Because like if you don't combine it with Hydropod or Catfish, and especially if you just leave Catfish, you're never gonna come back there, because there's, aside from Pyramid Fairy, there's just nothing to bring you really back into the area.
Exactly.
So yeah, what Gems like said then, and what he's doing right here is very reasonable. You want to combine it with something to at least not just isolate it forever. Because isolating Catfish is one thing, but isolating 2 checks is like it's double the check.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, it looks like the fan is very smooth Herapot going up the tower, and we're already gonna be clearing our first crystal though on Tam's side. You're right, second. I cannot count. Thanks, Dump the Tracker. Even though you presented all the information in front of me, I still cannot process it properly. What does Hera have us today?
Bombs.
Yeah,
so
are these both items? I didn't catch.
I think it's both items.
Okay, all right. Well, that's easy.
They don't really like to mark the items they get in their tracking, so it's a little awkward at times to really see if they skipped an item or not. But I believe there is still an item in the basement, because otherwise they would be going back.
Well, yeah, it could be item in the basement, or I didn't even see where the big key was. It could also be, you know, item in the big chest, in which case it's the big key. That's definitely by far the worst layout of the two. And yeah, actually, the fact that I'm a little bit unfortunate for Tam, right, is that we didn't have the mirror from Hype Cave. We're gonna have to kind of death warp our way out of this, as opposed to just mirroring out. Good on Tam though to remember that their fairy from Waterfall fairy is would be a detriment if they had kept it throughout this entire process.
Yeah, I think you might be right that the big key is right here, and then they want to death warp back up to check
maybe
the big
do spiral?
because Tam doesn't have the moon pull yet, and they are more incentivized to actually like check everything in the light world, because well, you don't want to skip it.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, even though the mountain is technically still out of logic, right? But I mean, you know, as I think maybe like you know, chat bringing this point up again, like Tam hasn't a magic bat yet, right? The lamp, you know, for all they know, could be there, right? I mean, so the mountain could be in logic, right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
And plus, without the mirror, it is a kind of a terrible time to get back to Hera, as it looks. People who have played Inverted recently, maybe it was part of the main tournament, you know, workout, knows that getting back to Hera is quite the adventure.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you find it or something later, and then you don't want to come back and check it.
Yeah.
So that's a classic. But yeah, not paying off, so Sam probably... I don't think they've done Spiral Cave just yet. So
correct,
going back, finishing that off, and then they will have to go back to either Agina or Magic Bat.
Yeah, no, you're right. So Tam went all the way basically over here after Paradox, decided to Hera, full clear completely, and then we're gonna check the last thing in Spiral Cave. And of course, we know from Gem's side doing Hype Cave, Tam's not gonna be able to find the mirror or Mitts, so I believe this is gonna be the end of their route. Yeah, and I guess just to clarify, they found. So right, so Tam and Jem both did all of Escape, went to Lost Woods, and then did Kakariko, and then they both did South Shore, and then that's where they found their hammer and powder. So yeah, Kakariko is not exactly a place we would like to ideally go back to without a flute or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, so we did get an early clear, I guess, on Helena from Jem. I did catch a blue mail, but I'm not sure if there was anything else of note.
Draka doesn't show it, so I'm inclined to
True.
believe no.
Shovel, apparently, in Paradox. Okay. Because that's something that Jem does not have, so we're gonna make this check right now.
Yeah.
It is only
Nothing really paying off. It's really just the bombos, and I mean, whether that's worth or not is yet to be determined. But
yeah, and it looks like the Tam's gonna check. I mean, this is a very reasonable route for Tam, by the way. Is check the shovel dig spot into Magic Bat. They're very close. We just happen to know in this case that it's Akina that has a pearl and not.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to say which one of the two is worth checking first. It's kind of just a crapshoot.
Yeah. I mean, especially if if the flute is here, for example, right? You can just activate it immediately and then go into desert for Gina, right? And it would be very, very nice. We just know that is not the item layout that we see today.
All right, so Paul not giving us the goods. Tam is about to go to Gina right now. Then we'll have to see if they go straight to Village of Outcasts or do Hype Cave as well. I'm not exactly sure what their tendency is, but looks like Jem might just be doing King's Tomb into Mountain at this point.
King's Tomb into maybe Skullwoods? I mean, we do have the Fire Rod, and it is a crystal.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
To answer your question, Pikmin, we're gonna see where the pearl is right now on Tam's side. Tam may not be very happy to see this pearl right now because I believe this is their actual last location in Life World. So just a little bit, it's a little bit unfortunate on Tam's side. But
it was Jem's last location in Logic as well. But yeah, like the Death Mountain clear just took a lot longer with all the Death Warps not not having the mirror.
And it looks like Tam's gonna go into at least Hype Cave, and Tam might be a little bit more sad after seeing everything there was in Hype Cave that Jem found earlier. Mirror, Mitts. We found something else in there that was also really good. Just don't remember. But I mean, all of these things would have been really nice, basically, for Tam to have in on the mountain, in Hera. I mean, basically, anything.
Yeah. Okay, that was
okay.
Okay, cool. Those fire-locked arrows.
Yeah, don't use too many. Otherwise we're not gonna be in Logic anymore.
Alright, well, virtual bottle percent.
Yeah, we are definitely not gonna get that fourth bottle. We may pick up half magic. I assume since it's right here. Even Jem won't turn it down. Man, that was
a little
super close. Yeah, all the time that Tam would have that Jem would have saved basically by coming up the mountain with the mirror versus Tam. Into Hera would have been basically just given right back if Jem had decided to be more social. Well, against his will.
Yeah, Tam basically just following Jem step by step here in the early Dark World routes. Hype into rights, and then also checking Pyramid before going into pod. So yeah, Catfish, a little isolated so far. Okay, there we go. I just need to talk earlier about how someone is having issues with a certain trick, and then just get it right away.
Yeah, and also I don't know if this is more of like a meta play. I mean, like as you said, Catfish in general is just not a very often checked location, but especially versus Jem. If something is on Catfish, I don't think you have to feel as bad, as if you had last located this spot.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
it's also kind of, I believe, if you also last locate something in Skull Woods against Gem, yeah, you may not have to feel as bad during the race. That's all.
However, if something is on Zora Ledge, I know absolutely.
Oh yeah, that is alright. Yeah, that's also very true. All about the different styles. Okay, so this potentially, I guess we'll see in this case if Gem decides to go back in.
I would assume not. Probably not.
So that's also my inclination, just because, you know, so in Tam's situation, right, as you mentioned, this was kind of like one of their last remaining Light World locations without the Pearl, right? Gem's got the rest of the entirety of the mountain, right? Light World, you know, Paradox Cave, Super Bunny, Hookshot Cave, you know, etc., etc. Yeah. We did, I guess for what it's worth, see Gem, I think, only pick up Berna in the backup pod. I cannot see Tam skipping the backup pod if they decide to go to Helma first, but I guess if that is something that they choose to do, they could probably get away with a couple minutes time save.
Okay. Like, once Tam comes back here, I'm probably pretty happy to see that it's Aether. Even if Kane is one of our two remaining gold items. Because even if Myra is also Aether, at least you know that it can't be.
True. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
My gosh! All right, so there is now. Let's get so Gem, you know, has an emote. You know, game is now playable. Pog, right, with the boots. He needs like game is ultra playable now. Pog, you know, with Temper Sword.
Boots and Temper. It's like the ultra combo.
I like how Gem just casually drops a bomb to make his rupee bomb arrow count as nice as possible.
What a meme.
He just can't ruin it now with getting anything extra.
Yeah, totally it's not going to be any HUD item in our near future.
Or Gem can figure out how to get his resource counts, you know, back in proper order. Nice hammer up on Tam's side.
An interesting tendency from Gem is to be pretty thorough on the overworld, but a bit more aggressive on dungeons. Because usually you see people do it the other way around.
You know, that's actually, now that you have actually like said it out loud, you know, I think that's actually a very good observation that you have on Gem. Like, yeah, you can see, especially with his trackers, you know, one item in Eastern, one item in Harrow, but I think, yeah, in terms of, if you actually, so I don't think he uses the map tracker, but if you actually do see his locations within the overworld, it is going to be mostly gray in areas that he's been to.
Aside from Catfish, that is.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, that square is going to remain green for as long as Gem can possibly make it. Yes, well, hello. But yeah, by the way, Gem has still apparently not gotten any extra resources other than that one bomb that he has used. He can still drop a bomb to keep his resource counts. Man, what the heck was up here? Oh, okay.
No, it's just bombos.
Yeah, so welcome. I believe it was a main tournament match. That was main tournament LTB randomizer.
Was Scottish Brave versus Jay Meisher, I believe.
Yeah, hopefully that race went well for you, everyone.
Hope you all had a great time.
Yeah, so welcome to Casual Boost Invitational for a ladder. We have two also, you know, pretty well-known names, Gem and Tam racing. Tam definitely needs a win to stay alive in brackets, or not brackets, groups, in order to advance on to the next stage. And so they, but unfortunately, just due to some last locationing happening with their Pearl and Light World, they are need a couple of items, in this case, to go their way.
Yeah, so far they've just been trailing Gem a little bit. Yeah, because of lack of mids and mirror, their Death Mountain route has been less optimal than Gem's. Gem so far has hit a pretty fortunate route by trying not to go out of logic too much. The last location, the Moon Pearl in logic, but before that, Tam had gone up to Death Mountain, cleared Hera, Death Warped with the big key to go back.
Yeah, it was quite a lot.
And yeah, nothing's really paid off so far for him.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point too. Is you know, like if any of these kind of like analogic or you know longer checks had gotten Tam a good item, right? Or in terms of progression, certainly could have given them like maybe you know there was a cane in there, right? That you know could have certainly you know not Gem could have not gone there for quite some time, but unfortunately it was just safeties or something that was basically not worth it.
Yeah. So far, Gem's just been kind of going to the next den spot or the next crystal dungeon. After we're done with Skullwoods here, Gem pretty much has Ice Palace without Cane left. And then we're kind of resorting to either Swamp or Thiefstown and Vu, I believe. It's not too unlikely that Gem could just commit to Vu and the surrounding checks before maybe even going into Crystal Ice here. But I don't know, like I wouldn't be surprised if Swamp was going to be the next logical play.
Yeah, that is also very true. And so, like, I do think that Village of Outcasts, as you mentioned, is a very lucrative option. You know, I just can't see Gem walking out of walls in order to get there. So, and we don't really have a food. So we could save and quit. But I guess you know, if we're gonna save and quit, maybe there are other better options. You know.
Yeah, speaking of which, it kind of looks like Tam is just going straight into the ice. So...
Tam's gonna pull out the lane. Hello. I mean, the lane has already advanced within Casual Boost Invitational with his group, so you know, I think the lane knows what he's talking about.
It's the place to be. I mean, yeah, Caneless Ice is very underrepresented, and people like to avoid it maybe just a little bit too much. Doing this before something like Crystal Skull Woods, or some of the denser overworld checks is maybe a little ambitious, but considering the state of the race that Tam is in, I can't really blame him for this.
Oh yeah. I mean, the fact that they had done so much extra without having really thinking anything, poor fairy, pay off, and this is potentially something that you know, if especially the cane is here, right, could actually, you know, Gem could be not motivated to come here for quite some time.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it is just a little bit unfortunate, again, you know, with the early Death Mountain play on Tam's side, not having the myths, does not, in this case, Tam does not, unfortunately, have a Tempered Sword to their name, which, you know, if of course we do go to the end of the dungeon, you know, Master Sword, Wolf Stare, not the greatest, you know, but it's certainly not going to be, it's not going to be bad per se, but it's certainly going to be less desirable than the Tempered Sword.
We do have the Bombos, luckily, to
True.
make it a little bit more.
Oh,
okay.
All right, so we got a pendant, or no, I guess we do have a crystal dungeon. This is Skullwoods, but potentially it will lead us to a pendant dungeon up top.
Luckily, the percentage that we actually, you know, are going to go into Torag is pretty small because one of our 2 go mode items is needed for it. Of course, it's not like very rare that a flute could be in there, but I don't think we're really assuming that just yet. But it's nice to have the insurance that if you do find flute plus Samaria somewhere that you're in go mode, like you don't or if you had Samaria for a while and then find flute later, that at least you don't need to full clear more in order for like a potential third medallion.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, front 4 thieves. At the very least.
Or the entirety of thieves, who knows, you know?
The wrong red stick?
Yeah.
Alright, moment of truth right here. That's another big key.
Vanilla, nice. I mean, maybe not nice because, you know, I guess we're gonna see. Yeah, but so far Gem has not also found, we've got, Red Boomerang, we've got a map. We are gonna get a big key in one of these, and then I guess we're gonna see what we have after that.
funky compass item. 60% of
Yeah.
a 60% chance. It's
Oh,
okay. There's
of
3
course,
left in the back. All right.
All right. Yeah. We have so many great emotes that are half meme, half reality. There is a gem 041 pendant thieves town. Feels exactly like that when you have 1 item in the front and 3 in the back. Alright, what is an iced tea? Tama's, in this case, actually spent,
Oh, there it is.
My
Okay.
gosh, yeah, quite a bit of time in Ice Palace, but the food is actually quite a very nice payoff. We can go to the Mire area. If Kane is over there, Jem definitely needs to get he needs to go over to Ice Palace. All this
Yeah, like Jem has like a little bit of a buffer with the Skullwoods clear, but it's not a whole lot. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Tan did clear out Skullwoods after activating Flutes.
By the way,
a little bit of efficiency.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess I don't know what Jem's tendencies are for iced tea without the cane, because in the first race versus Peach Ring, he skipped iced tea and it had a fire on. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna skip it here as well when he comes over to ice, but it is certainly a very common location, as you said, for Gem to be aggressive on when it comes to dungeons and Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's maybe a little worrying if you're a Gem fan. This is maybe not the most comfortable position to see to see a runner in. But yeah, we were saying that Sam needed to make a play in the situation they were in, and they did that, and so far it's looking like it's paying off. Of course, Samaria could just be here, in purple chest, and then the Gem feels a lot more inclined to just dumpster dive Ice Palace.
I'm still not convinced that that Gem's not gonna skip iced tea, but I guess we're gonna see. We're gonna see, depending, I guess, maybe on how he feels.
Gem already skipped 2 items in dungeons.
I think the last race that he did, oh man, I can't even remember. I think maybe also versus P-Train, the very first one, he skipped 3 items in the back as well. In addition to iced tea. So I don't know, I guess we're just gonna see basically how aggressive, Gem feels. So okay, so Tam has finished up Ice Palace, gotten another crystal under their belts, gonna go activate the flute. I guess I'm gonna assume in this case that they're gonna go check Mire immediately. Would you go straight into the Skull Woods though? In order to clear that dungeon, since you're, like right there?
It's probably a little bit faster, but I guess knowing how much you need to clear in order to potentially find Ether from Mire as well is relevant. So I can see it either way. Like it's not that much slower. It's like flute back to 3. But it is, it's 8 or 9 seconds. Like we said, the margins are very small in these races. Like, we've seen so many close calls, we've seen a couple of ties. Yeah, it might be going through the runners' minds. It kind of looks like we're going into Swamp area.
That is, I would also have to agree with you here. No flute. I mean, so this could certainly be a swamp into ice play, just because it works out very well, just because you can just basically run from one dungeon to the next. And of course, we are still looking for Samaria. So, if Samaria is here, that could certainly be very beneficial for Gem. Yeah, as you said, especially if we have Samaria here, maybe he's going to be less inclined to skip out on Ice Tea, right? Which, of course, we know in this case is it's very required. It would be quite the group stage for Gem if he got screwed over three times in 3 of the same types of races, based on very similar locations.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of, Tam is doing the easiest room of the game, doing very, very well for themselves.
Yeah, looks clean, very nice. Yeah, so like I said, the neat answer is that Gem is just finding Kane here, so he can full clear ice more efficiently. the more serious answer is that Jem probably just really dislikes the idea of going into Caneless Ice right now with all the items that he's got like early on in the game that didn't really pay off. Like, I don't think it was anything in the flipper checks, so maybe he believes like flipper mirror, hookshot. Okay, need to go into swamp. I don't know how much Jem like really believes into following like logic in that sense, but sometimes you do hear people talking about.
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. No, I think that's actually a very reasonable take. Yeah, because I think the flippers locked the hook shot, and and of course we got the mirror and hype cave. So yeah, like I don't think anything else really kind of opened up for those. Yeah. So okay, right. So one question for you, Barry, is if you're in Jum's position right now, you are looking for Flute and Samaria. If you find one of them, would you stay in the dungeon, or would you finish it out?
I think I would be in the luxurious position that I feel I can clear out the dungeon and not lose enough time to potentially lose the race because of that. Jem is probably in a pretty similar position, especially because he's had a really good route so far. Like, he's not done. He's made a couple of solid skips that don't feel like they really punished him. He's just always been able to be efficient, go to crystal dungeons and the surrounding checks. Like, the only thing that he really did was like front four thieves and surrounding checks, and like Smith Chain. Maybe all that feels a little extra, but other than that, I don't think he has like a real reason to feel bad about his route so far.
That's also a good point. Yeah, and he was very efficient too with the things that he did do. Right, he had the mirror, maybe not flute per se, but he was able to check, like dig spot. In addition, right, it's with like the K45 and all that. In order to just drop off the purple chest as well, and head right into swamp, right, without the flute. So it's just a lot of good combinations.
Yeah.
But yes, you are also correct in that they did not yield anything productive. So I mean, it just never feels good, even if you are very efficient.
Yeah, exactly. It's always very easy to think, oh, my opponent did the obvious, like, optimal play, even though the optimal play is never obvious in rando.
Hey, look, we have a lamp.
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah. Well, okay, so I mean, just in time for Meyer basement, I guess, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Like, it's just gonna be vanilla cane, and then why don't you pick it up?
Oh my gosh. Tam. I have seen Tam skip out on armor at race game, or not race game, on library before. Yeah, I think Tam is probably pretty happy with their loadout.
Okay, I think we need to send a doctor to Jem.
I know. I'm actually quite surprised. Impressed was maybe not the code word, but I was not expecting Jem to come back to this. Maybe the last casual booster race, really left an impression on him, right? Losing, to, I think it was 2 items, maybe, left side small. And one of them, of course, was the required medallion. But he has all 3, so why is he back here,
Yeah, what about the odds that cane or flute is left side swamp? Yeah, meanwhile, Tam, it kind of caught up, / actually overtook Jem in the crystal hand. It's gonna be 6-4 in just a short bit.
Yeah, that's actually a good point because I didn't personally realize that, or like it clicked that with the flute we also do have Desert Palace open. Like, we actually have entry into this dungeon, another crystal dungeon. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny thing is though, Meyer is in fact Ever, so Tam didn't get that from the front of Skull Woods. That could be an issue.
Oh, that's a great. Oh my gosh, dude. You're right. Yeah, because Jem also did something that was somewhat surprising, or maybe yeah, like that he walked out of Skull Woods. Maybe there were 2 items in the front or something.
Yeah, there were 2 items in the front.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess like maybe that's what Jem wanted to do without the flute. Basically just make a trek from straight north to straight south, right? Walk out of Skull Woods, get your 2 items, do Village of Outcasts, into Swamp, into Ice. And, well, I mean, I guess this is a ladder invitational race. Maybe we are happy seeing
strong red item
progression. Yeah. Okay, so Tam has a regular bow out. I'm going to be ultra impressed.
Debated.
Oh, Tam. I guess, you know what, maybe, you know, my way of thinking is Tam needs to save arrows for Vitreous.
Sure.
Can't afford, you know?
Okay, we're turning in a green pendant here. Yeah, maybe Gem is kind of forced to be deciding between back of thieves or ice here. Like, good options are going to be rare at this point. Oh,
okay,
there it is!
Never mind! Never mind about good options, holy frick! Well, okay, so suddenly, Ice Palace is looking pretty good. Wouldn't you say, Eric?
Yeah.
What a location, by the way, for that Canis and Mario. Holy cow! When is Tam gonna go and clear out Vitreous? Not Vitreous, Argus. That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The problem is that Tam still has the entirety of Fu and Dark Death Mountain as well at this point.
And for what it's worth, the front of Mire. I mean, like, so Tam, I believe, lost to Orange, partially because of the game Samaria was in Mire. I mean, not like it's just that, like, you know, Orange decided to go there first, right? And so I don't know if that'll also be another temptation for Tam, looking for the king.
Yeah. It's gonna... Like, the problem is that Tam now has two kind of awkward checks to go to, which is, like, Green Pendant Argus, but also back to the front of Skull Woods. Like, sure it has two items, but, like, it's so likely that you're just going to do the rest of Fu first. It's really hard to say.
So I know that Gem picked up the cape from Hammer Pegs. Like, so if Tam does the rest of, like, the Village of Outcasts and the overworld stuff, like, do you think that would incentivize them to go back up north to check, like, Upper Cave, and then you would do Skull Woods?
Potentially, yeah. But even then, you're still doing a lot of time before going back to Skull Woods, and unless Gem decides to skip Ice-T here again.
Well, maybe.
Tam doesn't really have much time.
We're gonna see what happens in about, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute for what Gem decides to do. I would like to say, by the way, that Gem successfully did the hammer dash into the switch room and with the Pink Gators. The first game against P-Train, he was not quite able to do so because he was only on Master Sword, so not all the Pink Gators died, but this time around, because he is tempered, he was able to do so.
Gold even. It's like...
Oh, that's true. Tempered plus, yeah.
Yeah. Tam actually about to get their tempered, which is very nice. So at least the comfort level will be maximized. Right there.
Yeah, happiness. Happiness does come in a bowl
okay.
Something.
Okay, we're seeing a bomb jump. We're
what, is he gonna fail? Okay, alright. He has succeeded. There have been moments where Gem has failed the bomb jump and then said, well, goodbye Ice-T, but it looks like we're actually gonna be able to go get his flute out of Ice-T, which means this should be go mode for Gem.
Yeah, this is go mode indeed.
He is he's very happy. Very happy, not skipping Ice-T this time around. Yeah, so I think at this point we have so many safety, so many offensive weapons at Gem and soon to be Tam's disposal. We've got Gold Sword, gonna be very nice for Coolster, and beyond. We've got Silver Arrows, we've got Half Magic. And this is gonna be a very, very fast and comfortable speed from here on out.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think there's really anything that can go wrong at this point. Like, yeah, we don't have land, but we have silvers to compensate for it. And, well, there has been a clip going around of Gem just absolutely beasting through Dark Mire basement. So, if that's anything to go by, like, there's going to be no problem.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, I mean, whether it's a meme or not, I'm pretty sure that the lamp just slows Gem down in Mire. I mean, sometimes it's like, I think he goes faster if he can't see.
Yeah, Instead of like Drunken Master Gem, it's Blind Master Gem.
Yeah. This is the type of seed, I guess, for what it's worth. Like, so obviously, like, so both Jem and Tam are, very talented casual boost runners. I mean, random runners in general, but it's kind of like a showcase. Like, for a seed like this, I think really does get to showcase, kind of Jem's ability, for this mode and for Rando in general. Like, he's routed this and played the seed very, very well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, definitely just hit a really good route, and I'm sure that in the back of his mind, he's going to be like, well, I could have not done this, I could have done that instead. Maybe I was a little bit too conservative in that section of the overworld. And on the other hand, I don't really think he can complain too much.
Yeah, like he in this case made, so it's always kind of a lot of coin tosses, right? Whether or not, you decide to dive a pendant dungeon, for example, Green Pendant Swamp, even though it was very dense, it's still a pendant dungeon versus going into, let's say, Crystal Ice. He full cleared out the entirety of that dungeon, right? Left side and all, but he made the right decision because the Kingdom of Mario was on Green Pendant Turn-In, right? So I think, whenever you make a correct decision, for the seed on a pendant dungeon or anything, you did some check there that paid off, right? I think you have to be pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright, what is Tam gonna do with this case? Tam got their 1 item. In the front of Thieves, we are gonna go to the back of Thieves to get the remaining items. Unfortunately, we know that nothing of value, I think, can be back here. And in fact, I think it almost can be anti-value, because, so we already know we have all of the, niceties, right? We already know what the armors are, mirror shield, silvers, etc. We can have other things that can, lead Tam astray, right? For example, we find the book back here, right? We know that the tablets don't have anything, but it's going to lead Tam to other checks, right, potentially, and that is just going to be wasting more time on Tam's side.
Yeah, like, sadly at this point there is really nothing that can really positively influence the excitement of the race.
Well, we get to see some more content, I guess, for what it's worth, right? We haven't really seen the back of Thieves Town. We are going to see just exactly why John does not like Pendant Thieves Town. Although I think the lore maybe, and certainly feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, was this came about, I don't know, like pre-SGL 2019 or something. It was like the booths were always in Pendant Thieves Town or something, and that's why Jem had the emotes.
Yeah, that's why Jem only plays boot starts modes nowadays.
True. Yeah, that's true.
At Big Dunka. We might need some help here.
Help. Alright, let's see if we can pick Dunka.
Alright, so meanwhile, Jem is still looking for the Meyer Big Key in order to go to Dark Basement. Oh, we're getting a reset right here.
Please stand by for technical difficulties.
Ah, yes.
Dunka is on the case. We have been reassured by the botmaster.
I'm sure we can't use those logs to secretly dox Dunka.
Where do we need to go next? Yes, we are going to, man. Okay, so you can just pretend that Jem is in Darkmire Basement. Yeah, GG.
Both? Oh, both GGs. Damn. Yeah. Turned out to be a close race in the end. But yeah, it's going to be dark. Yeah, after this, it's going to be deserts. I think Jem had plenty of arrows as well, so I don't think we really have to worry about that. Okay, doing a blind kill. Looked like it was on script.
Yeah, always you're happy to see upper left-hand corner for blind. Always Tam with their signature hook something. I don't know. I don't think it's quite a hook push, but Tam also play a lot of glitch modes as well, so always really cool to see that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Smith Chain right here, which sadly kind of leads Tam away from Skullwoods.
Yeah, so I think we are gonna go at least we're gonna see Dick Game first, I guess, into Smith, into Hammer Pegs. I forgot if Tam ended up checking Bumper Ledge. It could be still something to pull them up, to the front of Skullwoods again. But, well, I guess for what it's worth, though, if they decide to at least, take the Smith Chain and, go directly into Swamp, that is at least something that they still need to go do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like, and that's kind of the problem. Like, they both need to be both north and south.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Man,
yeah,
we need multiple tams. Hmm. When
yeah.
is Casual Boots League Invitational, Dunka? Multiple racers from one team?
Multi-world casual
Yeah.
boots
Oh,
sounds
yeah, see,
awful.
here we go. Also fair. Ooh, okay. So, for better or for worse, okay. I was like, maybe Tam scouted Bumper Ledge, we just didn't realize. But I'm like, okay, well, we maybe not. Okay, never mind. We're gonna go back.
Okay, well,
All
we
right.
at least
Okay.
get to hear
Cool.
the jams, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
We're in
Yeah.
desert now. I
Yes,
remember
you
this
can.
song.
That's right. That's right. I think. Did you actually say this is your favorite track out of the whole
Yes.
MS2?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
You
well,
can.
this is the map chest.
This is amazing, by the way. He's so I think it was I think I heard this from Cowork at some point, much earlier. He's like, you know, you can actually hear or kind of figure out what room they're in just based on the sounds, right? And you can
Hmm.
kind of tell if they're doing the room correctly. And it's like
Yeah.
before he said that, I was like, is that possible? And I think just some of the stuff has been going on. I think I agree now. Just like
Yeah.
also what you just said, you're like, okay, he's in the map chest. I'm like, that's I think you're right.
It would be kind of cool to kind of just try to do a play-by-play by
just
listening,
audio.
just audio. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I think it makes sense to some extent, right? Because you know, if you actually watch like visually, like you know how room is supposed to be done, right? You know how the sprites are supposed to move, and such things like that. And so I think it also makes sense for you also kind of expect to hear certain sounds, right? Just like the video, you know, the video has certain patterns, like the audio should have certain patterns as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's also funny. Like sometimes when a sound when it doesn't play, when you do expect it, it just really throws you off. It's
Oh yeah.
sometimes
Oh,
you
yeah.
have like audio cues when it comes like when you flute and you suddenly just don't hear the flute and it does work and you're just so confused.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say though, on the kind of on the flip side, is like one thing that you are happy to not hear is like when you're doing like dark room, you know, basement.
Jam.
Thank you, thank you. You know what? I really do appreciate the effort that Gem has put in for the very first cycle of levels.
Yeah. Okay. On the flip side, Tam is going into Swamp Palace. We'll probably full clear it. So we'll eventually get half their go mode that they've been looking for since 30-something minutes.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. But I guess for what it's worth, like, you know, having Ether Go mode is much better than Samaria Go mode, right?
Is it though? Yeah, actually in this case it is, because
Yeah,
Turtle
you
Rock
can't.
is also Ether. Yeah.
Right, yeah. It basically either blocks you out from more stuff, surprisingly, in this case, than Samaria would. Where's Gem 041 Dead Rock? It's... Yeah, but so, I would certainly, I would certainly expect, in this case, based on everything we've kind of seen from Tam as well, to full, as you said, full clear out the dungeon, including doing left side. May not be the most pleasant, but you know, at least we get everything.
It's kind of mean too, like, because usually left side swamp is like the one thing where you can catch Gem, and this seed Gem actually did left side swamp.
I know,
like,
I know. Yeah, every single skip that Gem did. Well, I mean, granted, it wasn't a lot of skips like within where they were, but the ones that they did, right, or he did, you know, Eastern Palace Big Key Chest, and Hera Basement, you know, both are significantly long ones, and they just ended up having nothing.
Yeah, and also in the context of the race, they made us like a certain amount of sense. Like the only way it would have really been punishing is if Lamp was on Magic Battle Arena and then the Moon Pro was there. But but then the Moon Pro could have just as well been on Death Mountain, which was what Sam was banking on.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this is also this is, you know, partially rando, right? You can be the, you know, quote unquote absolute best player, and sometimes, if the items aren't where you know, aren't in your favor for placement, you know, sometimes it just happens. Look at the Boyne route paying off immediately.
I bet Gem's just so upset right now.
Yes, you can see the palpable anger that he has, you know, on screen. Looks like the Tam's actually gonna be left side first, which where was the big key? If the big key was early, and I think maybe it was, this is gonna be pretty good because we don't have to go back in this case for to come back for the big chest.
I think it might have been, yeah.
Yeah.
Time to watch some very comfy gauntlet action. Alright,
Yeah,
you want to hear... You don't... Like, technically, you don't want to hear a third repeat of the song, right? Of the crescendo?
Correct, sadly. Two of them... so you're right, so you expect to hear the crescendos at... when you first enter, like, G1, right around this, and then at Torches 2, ideally, but sometimes Torches 1.
Okay. So we're on cue for the first one.
Yeah, so Gem obviously, you know, does a very good job with the spike switch room, and did obviously get through GBZ very well. So certainly very on track for good execution. And then these Zyzax.
Alright, well, you might be getting your way.
What? You know, so sadly, I don't even think the Moldorm Fall is enough in order to get a third cycle. But I guess, you know, I don't want to wish too many ills on Gem's knowledge here.
Oh, that's very nice of you. So to answer chat,
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, the state of the race is what it is. Tam has been a lot more furrowed than Gem was, but they also lost location to Moon Pearl because they did some out of logic stuff, assuming that Lamp was successful early when it wasn't. And from there on out, it was just like a sequence of like inefficient checks that caused them to backtrack to locations later on. And well, they left Ether in the front of Skullwoods, and well, Kane is behind Green Pendant Argus, which, yeah, it's just locations that are slightly, yeah, how do you even say that? The Gem just managed to find his way too earlier.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess the Gem certainly had a very, very good run.
Yeah.
And did not, in this case, like, isolate the things that he couldn't afford to isolate. Yes. Yeah, I mean, so, like, right, so I think both items in this case were in the front of Skullwoods, and Gem decided to at least go to the back first, for example, but then he decided to route the rest of his Dark World without the flute. Basically, okay, that...
Alright.
very, very aggressive, Moldor. Yeah, but in this case, you know, so Gem decided to try and do basically the north and south route. So walking out of Skullwoods, getting the two remaining items in the front, all the Village of Outcasts, Smith's Chain, into Swamp Palace, which, as we're gonna see Tam do right now, is turn in the Green Pendant, get his Cane of Samaria, and then, you know, use the Cane of Samaria, basically go into Ice for his guild mode. That was all Gem. We're gonna hopefully see Tam do something very similar, assuming they go back to Skullwoods, which they may or may not as their next play.
Ooh, nice chip ball. Yeah, another problem is probably that Sam found the flute before Kane, and that just opened up a lot of checks that had nothing. So full clearing desert, doing the entire Mario area extra, like all those things just add up, and that together with like double dipping the mountain because of not having mids the first time around.
Yeah.
Full clearing Eastern, full clearing Hera. It's all, yeah.
Yeah, all of this stuff does add up. I mean, and while, you know, some of the stuff is certainly not considered, I guess, to be even like trivial. Maybe it's just like little things, but it was a lot of little things, and some of the little things weren't that little, as you said, right? Because we didn't have a lot of the efficient items, right, early on. No mids, no mirror, having to backtrack. Even though we did have the flute for a little nice overworld travel, but it certainly was probably not enough.
Yeah.
I like. So okay, so it looks like Tam's gonna go to Catfish, which is understandable at this point, you know, because if something's here, knows that Gem probably won't come here anytime soon, or later for that matter.
Yeah, the first 10-20 seconds of what Tam was doing was like, wait, where are you going?
Yeah.
This is the entrance?
Yeah.
But it all made sense.
By the way, I like how Gem also decided to drop a bomb in Agatu, so we can get again some very nice resource counters right before he decides to do phase 4 for Ganon. Maybe he'll even do Silverless in order to preserve his counters. You know, I guess we'll never know.
That seems slightly optimistic. Looks like we're getting a double into hopefully another double right here.
Yeah,
looks like it.
Looks very good positioning. Alright, well then get your get your GGs in chat for Gem, taking on a victory over Tam in casual boost. Play the seed incredibly well, incredibly fast. Alright, looks like we are also joined here by today's victor, Gem. Hello, GGs.
Hello, thanks.
So Gem, I have questions for you. Walk us through your Dark World route after going to Skullwoods.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Just came over me. No. So yeah, I was when I started my route after leaving Moth, I was thinking, man, I should just be in what do you call it, ice right now. But then I had already started going, you know, south, to get my 2 items out of Skullwoods front, and I figured I'd just do south loop, do everything there, get those items. Maybe I can get the cane before going to ice, and it'll all have been worth it. And then that didn't show up, and then after purple chest, I was thinking, okay, I should go over to ice now. But then there was Swamp. You know, I already had my Dark World portal there, and you know, Swamp was waving around its big 7 items in front of my face, and well, I just went in. The bait was too strong, and I got lucky, I guess.
And you even did the left side.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. And was there only, I think it was 2 items, right?
I wasn't gonna, yeah, it was 2 items. And I wasn't gonna let, you know, left side Swamp lose me the race again.
Did you have any thoughts about Ice Tea?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna skip that either. I was gonna skip, and I told Tam this beforehand. I was gonna skip Eastern Dicky Chest and Terra Basement.
Oh wow!
Because those things burnt me out.
I can't believe you baited Tam into doing both of those.
Yeah, they did say they were definitely gonna check those.
Yeah, they sure did.
Oh yeah. So I guess I'm not sure how much you guys had talked before, before this, but yeah. So it kind of seemed like, at least like what Ari observed when you were in Light World, you try to stay mostly in logic, right? So you didn't do, so you basically went to Akina, right, in order to go get your pearl. And I guess and then instead of sequence breaking the mountain because we didn't have lamp or fluid at the time, and that kind of led you to Hype Cave and to Mirror and to Mist, blah blah blah, right? And Tam decided to sequence break the mountain, did Eastern Kyle's big key chest, went all the way to Hera, right? To the basement and everything, without the mirror, without the Mist, it was it was a lot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically I wanted to try to find preferably either Pearl or Flute before going up the mountain. Pearl just in case mids are up there, and Flute to make it faster, which is why I tried to stay in logic. Would have sucked if it was Lamp, especially if Pearl ended up in Eastern Dicky Chest, but yeah, lucky that didn't happen.
Yeah, Lamp ended up being in Myers' shed, by the way.
Oh, I see.
It's okay. I mean, the lamp would have just slowed you down, in Meyer
it's
anyway,
true.
so. Yeah, but this I think was a very. I mean, you played the seed very well. You made the correct decision. You know, going into swamp and beating it, and then turning the green pendant. Like, and of course doing the front of Skull Woods. So. And yeah, staying out of the back. Yeah, so this was another thing that Tam also did was the back of Peace Town as well. Yeah, and as you might have guessed, there was nothing back there. So, and Tam did decide to go into Ice Palace early without the Canis Maria. So there's just a lot of things I guess that Tam ended up doing that kind of cost them just a lot of time, especially relatively, you know, over you.
Yeah, that's pretty much everything. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that the ice clear I definitely support. I was thinking too I should be doing that instead of all the overworld stuff. But then I already started, so it was too late.
Yeah, that's reasonable. But yeah, it just felt like throughout the seed that everything that you were able to do efficiently, Sam just kind of, like, in an unlucky way, just had the wrong sequence for, and it just kept happening. That, yeah. Sam found Flute earlier, which caused them to like just do back of Skullwoods and then leave the front because they could just flute away instead of, you know, walking to the front and then going to Vu. And it was just like stuff like that consistently, and yeah, kind of happens for with Rando, right?
Yeah, it's sometimes one person is just really fortunate with how their sequencing works out, and the other one just gets destroyed. It's definitely happened to me in reverse before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tam even went to Catfish. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I wasn't gonna check that. Apparently, I also wasn't gonna check Bumper Cave. I was like pretty worried when I found that cave in Hammerpex and got reminded that I somehow didn't check Bumper Cave.
This is
apparently nothing was there. Sorry?
You also didn't check Graveyard Ledge, right? So.
Well, you checked out with Catfish. At least
yeah,
I do.
okay.
Oh, okay. So
I wouldn't do that.
Locations. I gotcha. That don't exist. Okay.
Oh, for me, Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Cave are kind of connected. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see how different people perceive like combinations of checks. But yeah, considering the previous two races, are you a lot happier with the result of this one, or just how you played this one, or are you pretty content with the way you played all three of them?
I was pretty content with the way I played all three, honestly. I'm kind of sad that I won this one because, you know, I'm friends with Tam and would have liked to see him advance.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It's unfortunate. I still, you know, wouldn't want to throw or anything like that. That's not in the spirit of the thing.
Yeah, it's certainly very good to be, you know, sportsmanlike, even though, you know, you have a potential bias, right? Honestly. Yeah, your Tam, I guess, was the one who had a stake, I guess, in this race. It's fine. Or at least for the tournament, for the future of the tournament. Yeah, but at least in this case, like this time, I was, you know, after Tam found the flute in Ice Tea, we were like, well, at least I was like, man, is Jump gonna skip Ice Tea again? Get screwed for a third time in this series of in this group. Because right, the first time was Ice Tea, the second time was Left Side Swamp, and then so it would have been.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted it this time. That's why this time I wanted it to be Eastern Big Key Chest or Hera Basement. So I wasn't gonna skip the other ones.
You had a good gauntlet for what it's worth. Always a little disappointed to not hear the third cycle, but you know I understand. Hey, thank you for your efforts for Landmost 1. I think it was. You know, I was really pretty happy to see it, and then for some reason you switched over to silvers.
I tried to delay switching over to wooden arrows as long as possible, but then it just completely threw off my timing for the first hit. Yes.
Yeah. Somehow
And
pressing
then,
L and R and then actually using the items is so hard.
yeah. Yeah, then when I didn't get a single hit in on the first, like, it was just like, okay, screw it. I'm not gonna sit through this now.
Were you worried at all that you were going to tie Tam now after after attempting bow lambos?
No, because I did switch back to silver, so everything was
Oh,
good.
okay, right, gotcha.
Very nice escape, by the way. Not carried by 2 Y items.
No, I mean,
456. Where's Humbug?
56, it counts.
Yeah, it definitely
Right.
counts. It was really good. Like, I don't think he had like big mistakes. I think he got
Yeah,
hit once or something, which was
Yeah.
maybe avoidable, but it was still very good.
yeah. We
That's-
even saw you pick up a second magic pot. I mean, that's how confident you were in getting your sub 5.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do when you get Fire Rod and Link's House.
Yeah, probably worth the investment of picking it up.
Yeah, I was gonna use one on Ball and Chain, and then the other one is the backup magic for Bat, in case I need it. And it turned out I actually needed it for, oh well, it was nice for Eastern Gifted with Greenies in the
Yeah,
dark.
exactly. Yeah.
It was actually crazy that there were arrows in the map chest in Escape.
I know, right? You basically just got everything for like a clean
Yeah.
escape.
Yeah, it's almost like an amalgamation of all of the weapons, right? For standard for standard boost start, right? You had the fire rod, you had the bow, you had the sword, you got a hammer. I guess like pretty well. You got a hammer post escape, but it's like you had your choice of whatever weapons you wanted to basically clear out escape.
It was pretty cool that like throughout like all the way until Eastern, where Tam did do Vanilla Key Chest, like the two of you just did the exact same route.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. That's right. I wanted to ask, like, did you have any thoughts basically about, I guess, like diverging from your quote unquote like normal path? Because you had the glove to go up the mountain to sequence break it. You had the bow to go to Eastern. But I mean, obviously still do South Shore. With all the money you had to.
Yeah, with the money, I was always gonna do South Shore first, because there's a chance you just find the stuff to combo Eastern with Pod. If I hadn't had the money, I would have gone to Eastern first to try to find Zora money. But yeah, the mountain just wasn't really an option for me, because I was only missing the Moon Pearl for Darkwood access, so sequence breaking it didn't really make sense for me while I still had good options. Or even when I had the bad options left.
Yeah, because then there were basically only 2 options left, so at that point you might as well exhaust those first. See
Yeah.
where actually you need to go.
Yeah, it's awkward when you sequence break the mountain, when Mountain Nexus is in the Dark World, and then you're like on the mountain without Pearl, and you find mids up there, and then you can't do Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah,
That's why I
especially
was
with the hook
trying
shot,
to
I
find everything
suppose.
first.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So I guess you didn't let Tam take revenge on you from spoiler earlier this morning either.
No, unfortunately not.
Yeah. I didn't end up seeing what happened this morning. I don't know anything like about the route, but I did catch I don't know, like 30 seconds or something of Tam's feed, and I guess early resources must have been kind of an issue, but I did see early boots, and then I think like so Tam after Kakariko had 2 bombs, went to library to go get the 3 bombs off of library, and then tried to do like the 50-50 bushes. And I think within like 4 or 5 attempts, they got 2 bombs out of it, and so
Oh no.
that was unfortunate. Yeah, I didn't really see what happened after that, but I guess luck was not on Tam's side earlier. Hopefully, and I was like, well, maybe it won't really carry into casual boost this time, but did not really seem like it was more played into their favor this time either.
Yeah, we were talking afterwards in the racing lounge, and I was saying that. So Tam was talking about a few things that went wrong, and I was saying that they were just throwing in spoiler to beat me later in casuals. But yeah, unfortunately, their bad luck carried over instead of being used up.
Okay, no, that didn't look sketchy at all.
We're fine. We're fine.
We're good. We're good.
Tam didn't pick up the red mail on Desert Ledge for a reason, because Tam doesn't need the red mail. So
Yeah, that's definitely a question. Like whether the red mail, if it's just a worse sprite, or if it's just
that's
I
a good point,
100% don't need it. This is the hard-hitting journalism we're here for.
So Jem, were you gonna did Silverless cross your mind at all for Ganon? If so, in order you can keep your, what is it, 6 bombs and 9 arrows?
It did cross my mind, but as I was saying earlier, I didn't quite want to throw this one, so yeah, I didn't want to waste like 30 seconds in the end.
We had quite a nice set of resources when you were on Death Mountain, though, and then within like Paradox and right, because I think the only thing you got was like heart pieces or something, and I don't know, like
one time 20 rupees.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. So Tam is finished up, and we are joined here by Tam. GG's.
GG.
GG, Tam.
Sorry about the light world. It was it was a bit of a trek for you.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to also get a Gina. It's good for the character. This race was about to be so sick for me. I was like 45 minutes in, going to my 6th crystal, 1 item in quotation marks from Gurmurd, and then 30 minutes later I was with 6 crystals and 1 item from Gurmurd. It was great.
Yeah. So I guess we were talking a little bit about earlier about whether or not that early, well, quote unquote early flute that you found in Ice Palace was a gift versus a curse. Like, if you didn't have the flute, would you have stayed in Skullwoods after after you finish, or would you have just stayed and quit and gone somewhere else, right?
No, I would have stayed in Skullwoods. The only reason I was skipping stuff was because I thought I was 1 item from Gurmurd. I was gonna do like the Maya dip and desert looking for Kane, and then probably go to some stupid check after that instead of going back to Skullwoods. But I only did that because of thinking that I was 1 item from Gurmurd.
Did you have any inclination to skip either the Eastern Palace Big Key Chest or Hera Basement based on some pre-race knowledge that you obtained from your opponent?
No, I was actually, when I got the flute in Ice Tea, I was like, I thought for a while, until the Aether fiasco happened, I thought for a while that I would just win the race because Gem would skip it. But yeah,
oh, come on, I told you I would only
did
skip.
find some skips. I wasn't gonna do digging game. I was not gonna do some other annoying checks, but Eastern Vicky Chest that's one I don't feel comfortable skipping. Especially in a scene like this, even without lamp, like skipping stuff before Pearl just never sits right with me.
I know, right? Yeah, we were discussing that throughout the light world as well.
Yeah, I mean, I did kind of skip some light world stuff to do Death Mountain, but it was kind of a case of like, it's not that unlikely that one of the in-logic checks is mountain access, and 1, I'm not doing a Gina, like it's just a bad check to go to, and 2, finding like anything at all before Dark World would have felt good anyway. Like even if it was mirror, minutes. Although like, we didn't really need much at that point. It was a bit front loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking with John earlier about even like for escape, right? You had fire rod, you had the bow, and then you had arrows, right, coming out of the map chest. In addition, of course, to the sword and everything. So certainly had quite the fun in the first couple minutes.
My escape prediction was a little off.
Yeah, the escape was certainly spicy. Also, really nice right side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. That was the most important divergence that we saw the entire race.
No, I
I'm
blew
proud.
it because I went left side on the way back. So
Oh no,
it
the
was
muscle
like
memory was too
10.
strong.
Yeah, it was purely muscle memory. I wanted to go right side on the way back as well.
There's no
That's
opportunities in
awesome.
escape for hook speed, right?
I mean, that's a really stupid one. That's not good. In the throne room.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that
yeah,
seems
yeah.
that seems a little corrupt for sure.
One day we'll have a world record going on right side escaped. Alright, well, I guess maybe we can start like wrapping things up. I hope you guys had fun for the groups. Sorry about the not advancement, Sam, but I think you did give it a very valiant effort in order to make it out of groups. I mean, it's a very, very tough group, honestly. So.
I think I can still advance if I just beat P-Train by like 20 plus minutes.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Oh.
Okay. Is that?
If I
I think I was
understand
just.
things.
We can
But I
ultimately
mean,
ask the
it's
source.
beating P-Train by 20 minutes seems a little unlikely. So it's as good as.
It's fine. We'll somehow convince him to skip every dungeon item in existence.
Differently. No, yeah, I mean, it was fun. I have fun doing these. I don't expect to do too well, so.
I think it's a matter of expectations versus actual performance. I mean, you are a very, very, very strong runner, so but it's also just rando. I think if the pearl, if the lamp was maybe on Bat or a Gina, right, and then you found it in Hera basement, race would have certainly been very different.
Or if Kane or Flute were there, that would have been
Yeah,
very different too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but certainly, yeah. Yeah. So good luck. When are you playing? When are you playing P Train?
Sunday, I think.
Yes. Okay. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, best of luck. One of the last, I think, races on the schedule, at least for casual Boozliner. But otherwise, I think I'm going to assume that you're also playing some main tournament matches between now and then. Or you also may not be, but I definitely know you've at least been played a couple.
Probably. I almost double booked tournaments at one point. But...
Oh no.
That'll happen for sure.
Oh, too many.
Yeah, somehow like main tournament plus like invitationals is so much rando at once. I remember that from last year. So
I was gonna say, are you talking about personal experience, Ari?
yeah.
That may have happened.
So like regarding that, I'm very happy for the both of you. Or well, at least for Jem. Well, I guess Jem doesn't matter because he's not main tournamenting. But yeah, like if you do get to the next group stage and the one after that, you're gonna be playing so much rando.
No, it's okay if I don't make it, because then I can do 80 keys races instead.
Oh, excellent. It's 22, that's right. It never ends.
Oh man, yeah.
One day those tourneys will have boot started. It'll be fun.
Not optional boost start.
I'd like to join more tourneys.
Well, hopefully you'll have some ones coming up. So I don't know. I'm sure. Actually, I think I assume that there's going to be some sort of casual boots tournament. That's also going to start in the summer. I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's going to start sometime soon. So
If it
but
does, I'm
until
sure
then,
we'll hear about it.
yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. Yeah, but until then, we got lots of ladder, right? I think spoiler is going on. This season, along with also more casual boots, and yeah, there's always Doors pickup races where you can start with pseudo boots. Right, there's lots of still lots of rando to be playing. But thank you guys both, for racing. It was really fun to watch too. So, and definitely really well played, John. It was a very strong exhibition of your performance and your skill and ability for rando.
Thanks. Yeah, at least one went well.
Yeah, thanks for doing commentary.
It was. It's always a pleasure on my side, Ari. I don't want to speak for you, but it was a very fun time.
Yes, I would never insinuate otherwise. It's always a great time. Great runners, great people, great co-com. So yeah, thank you all so much.
Great restreamer. Thank you, Donka, taking care of all of the technical difficulties. I think the bots try to revolt, but Donka, with his iron giraffe fist, whatever, put everything, back in order. So thank you for putting everything on.
It was somehow on the first day evening, Lazy Kid decided to drink a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's too early. Not the weekend yet. But yeah. So I think let's. Yeah, I was gonna say so I think that's actually gonna be the last race we have for this for at least today. We have, I'm sure, a couple more matches. I don't quite have the schedule on.
Yeah, Schultzer versus Vortex is going on right now, but
Okay.
yeah, whether or not there's going to be a mid-run restream cropping going on, I don't know. We'll have to see what Duncan decides to do.
Yeah, it looks like there's also going to be GGW versus Zaru tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then I think a couple more matches on Friday. But I don't know if that one's going to get a restreamed. But yeah, until then, yeah, we will see. Yeah, but again, thank you so much, Ari. It's always a pleasure to be able to do this. Thank you, Jem. Thank you, Tam, for racing, and thank you everyone for watching. We will see you next time.